the supposed swan song of the PlayStation 4. Ghost of Tsushima certainly has a lot riding on it, doesn't it? With this reputation it has for being the last great PlayStation 4 exclusive. Does the game in its early running look like it's going to meet that lofty goal, or will it be impaled on the sword of heavy expectations? Let's find out. This is my first YouTube video, and I am thrilled to be here. My name is BauerKillz. I've been playing video games for 31 years, and at the young age of 34 years old, I've decided that after about a decade of kicking it around, I'm going to give this thing a real run, share my thoughts, share my opinions, and bring to you what I consider to be straight up good information. So if you like what you see here today, do me a favor, hit that like button, type a comment down below, and also subscribe and click all notifications. I stream every Friday on here at YouTube at 9:30 p.m. I'm going to add another day in the future, and I'm also on Instagram and Twitter as well under BauerKillz. Now, if you've played open world games before, like a Far Cry or like an Assassin's Creed and like a Red Dead Redemption and any other number of games in between, you're probably going to be familiar with the overall structure here. You're going to be liberating bases, coming across NPCs in the wilderness that want you to do something for them. Your standard open world fare on paper. The way that Sucker Punch has implemented these mechanics into this open world game is like a 4-course meal at a 3 Michelin star restaurant. Imagine if Gordon Ramsay had made the meal that you've had 1,000 times in your life, but really it's kind of the first time you've ever had that meal, like really had that meal. Ghost of Tsushima makes me feel that way about open world games. First and foremost, the gameplay is absolutely sublime. The combat is so satisfying. I can't emphasize or articulate it enough. Oh god, that's a big dude. That is a big dude. Alright, buddy. Spear guy. And again, that cinematic camera. Got him. Look at the sword fly. Oh, look at that. Did you just see that effect that came off of his sword when he killed him? I couldn't be more impressed. I mean, that right there was so much fun. I can't articulate it to you. It is phenomenal. I was originally disappointed when I realized, hey, there's not going to be any dismemberment. I like dismemberment in my games, especially games that are by their very nature violent. Speaking of violence, the tone of this game does not sway at all from that dark theme that was laid out at E3 2018. Back to the gameplay. Movement is weighty. You can't press square or triangle to win. If you do that, you will get smoked repeatedly. Not that the game is that difficult, because it's not. However, if you move that difficulty up to hard mode, if you find normal mode to be a little bit too easy for you, moving it up to hard mode, yeah, that's going to solve your problem. I haven't died yet. I've come close once or twice. Oh, now we got a dog. Guys, I'm going to die now. I'm going to die. I need more zone. Oh, no! I had to go and talk about how I didn't die. At its core, this game is an insanely creative mixture of combat that has been pulled out of games like Batman Arkham City, The Witcher, just the scotch of The Witcher. Jedi Fallen Order makes an appearance here. Dark Souls and Sekiro all put into a brew and coming out with its own identity, because here's the thing about this game, where it borrows mechanics maybe from the open world genre, mechanics gameplay wise from other games, it perfects them and it puts its own spin on them. And Sucker Punch puts such an emphasis on details in this game that it doesn't matter. Long story short, you have got brutal executions, counter-based combat, and my God, does this game make you feel like a badass samurai. I've always wanted a samurai game since Way of the Samurai on the earlier PlayStations. And or Ninja. Okay, Tenchu was a long time ago. Let's come on, let's get Sony back. Let's get the older school Sony back. Let's bring back a Tenchu and make a reboot happen, okay? By the way, the end suffering option where people, after you've struck them down, occasionally try to crawl away from you, and you just go up and you tap square and you just stab them to end their suffering. I would spend 50 to 100 hours just ending suffering. I mean, it's that much fun. But something else that I noticed about this game that I absolutely adore, and when I say adore, I mean adore, is the absence of level gating. At no point in Ghost of Tsushima will you wander into an area that looks beautiful, that you're just craving to explore, and suddenly see an enemy with a skull above his head and the number 13 when you're level 3. If you like Assassin's Creed, awesome. But in a game like Assassin's Creed and others like it, you so often have this level gating issue where you have to go back and grind. An artificial block to your progress. Level gating to me is one of the most frustrating design components of open world games today. I want to be able to explore an entire world at my leisure, and I feel like I haven't truly gotten the opportunity to do that in quite some time. You can go anywhere in Ghost of Tsushima right off the bat, at least from what I've seen in these first 12 hours. And it's just been an absolute joy. It's a phenomenal design decision. It makes the game world feel so organic, and it really puts your ability to explore the island directly in your hands. If you want to go south, and dare I say, if you want to go west, whether you've upgraded Jin or not, you are able to do it. Never at any time are you directly barred from going where you want, when you want. And I really appreciate that. The environment of the game is, quite frankly, one of the most impressive environments of all time. I'm not talking in relation to other open world games here, guys. I'm talking ever. Shade as it's starting to set. Look at that. Look at that. The way that's reflecting off the water. Again, I'm playing this in 4K HDR, and it's just this might be a top 5 from a graphical standpoint. My mind is blown. The graphics play a role here. Now listen, I'm very much of the mindset that graphical fidelity can only get you so far. Graphics can enhance an experience, or they can maybe take away from the experience a bit. However, when you marry graphical fidelity to art direction, it has the capacity and the capability to blow your mind out of the back of your skull. And that's exactly what Ghost of Tsushima does. I like that it showed, ooh, look at the bird there. All right, I mean, at what point does this game stop being this impressive? Little bird just appeared, man, just sitting here looking at the trees in the distance is serene. You can see the hill over there that I can go up. That's just calling my name. I got to go up that way. I'll take a screenshot right here because this is a moment. This is a moment. Let's do that again, Jin. I can't remember the last time I've seen a game that's looked this good that has also had an art direction to match it. In the visual representation of the wind. Let me talk for a moment about the visualization of the wind, because that is a significant theme here in Ghost of Tsushima. Now, I have not enjoyed actually seeing visually the wind this much since The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Yeah, Wind Waker. Cut. Since The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. It gives me those vibes. Everywhere you go, the wind is present. You'll be walking along through the environment, just kind of minding your own business after you've taken over a camp, and as you walk silently towards the exit, you see the wind, and it just plays into this aesthetic in such a beautiful, incredible way that just puts goosebumps in your core and all over your body. It's phenomenal. This environment is top notch, and I've only grown more fond of it as I've played throughout the game. A couple of other things here that I want to touch on. One, a negative. The camera, yeah, the camera's going to get in your way occasionally. You know, this has got me into trouble a few times when I've been fighting, and especially if I've been in close quarters. The camera doesn't pull out, right? And it needs to pull out at times to prevent trees and buildings and structures and even other enemies from blocking you. And the camera simply doesn't accommodate for that. It's not a huge deal, but it can be annoying when it does happen, and it does happen occasionally. Something else that I think I would really have appreciated is a little bit more control over the camera distance. So the camera's kind of right up on Jin's back a little bit, and he's kind of aligned to the left, and I've always really liked the ability to kind of pull that camera back. Final Fantasy VII Remake did a really good job of this. When I first started playing, that camera's right up on Cloud's back, just a little bit too tight. I was able to go into the options menu and pull it back and play the rest of the game that way. Unfortunately, no option exists for Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know. Maybe they'll patch it in some other time in the future. But as far as negatives are concerned, that's pretty much it. Finally, I would just like to touch on all the little things. It's all the little things that make a great game a masterpiece. And my God, did Sucker Punch take time to implement and infuse this game with all the little things. It's beautiful. Everything happens organically. Everything. There is nothing in the game that I feel like wasn't intentionally placed or meticulously put into that environment. It feels like it all is cohesive. It integrates really well with one another and comes back to their overall vision for the game. And it shows. Don't let the fact that it's another open world game, quote, another open world game, drive you away from this one. This game is worth your time and money. And honestly, it should be bought at full price to reward a phenomenal developer who has your best interests at heart and my best interests at heart, because this game was clearly made with so much love that it can't help but permeate every single layer and aspect of the game. This game so easily makes you feel like you need to pick your jaw up off the floor and reattach it to your face, that it's effortless. Anyway, that's what I have for you here today. Now, will this hold up over 50 to 100 hours? I can't tell you. All I can tell you is that after 12 hours into the game, I can't stop thinking about it. Again, just to recap, phenomenal gameplay, one of the best environments ever seen in gaming, all the little things, a dark tone, and yeah, the incredible feeling of being a badass samurai. And the music. How did I miss touching on the music? Yeah, the music is incredible, but I'll talk about that in another video. This is BauerKillz, and if you liked what you've seen today, go ahead and leave me a comment. I'd really appreciate that. If you liked what you heard here today, click that like button. Do me a huge favor. If you like this content, if you like this video and you want more, subscribe and then click that notifications button. Ensure you select all notifications so that you can see when I upload a new video. More will be coming soon. And if you didn't like what you saw here today, I'd really appreciate the feedback, because I'm going to get better over time, and the only way I can get better is to listen to criticism and improve as I go. I stream every Fridays right here on YouTube at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to add another day to that schedule here sometime soon as well. You can also find me on Instagram, where I upload my video game photography, which I take very seriously and absolutely love. Pretty much every game that I play, I take screenshots and love sharing that with the world. So hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as well. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for spending your time here with me at BauerKillz, and we'll see you soon.